For the past few years, the Vauxhall Astra has been a worthy but forgettable choice amongst the ranks of family hatchbacks out there. It was pretty practical and had a range of efficient engines, but its dowdy looks were unlikely to tempt you away from the Volkswagen Golf. But starting with the little Mocha SUV, we're in the midst of a complete reboot of Vauxhall's range, with this, the Astra, the latest model to benefit. But unlike the Crossland and Grandland SUVs, this, like the Mocha, is a whole new model with technologies never seen before on this family hatchback. With the looks being such a big change, let's start by looking at 5 things I love about the design. Here at the front, you've got Vauxhall's visor nose treatment, which means these wing-shaped LED headlights with the option of pixel technology to allow the headlights to stay on main beam for longer, this black grille, and a ridge running down the bonnet of the nose to act as a kind of sight. What you may also not see in pictures is the V shape to the nose, which makes the car look pretty dynamic and a bit less bluff-fronted than the Mocha SUV.
The second feature I love are these boxed arches, very reminiscent of the 80s Nova. For the first time you can get a contrast roof to make your car that little bit more individual. The reverse rake C-pillar is a nice touch, and these little divots are reminiscent of the Mark I Astra's side vents. Like the front lights, the rear LEDs get a wing graphic, and this stylised Astra script is a nice touch too.
Like the exterior, the interior is completely different to this car's predecessor. Like the Mocha small SUV, there's this twin 10-inch digital display. So you've got this one here for your infotainment, and this one that deals with your speed, revs, fuel levels, and all that sort of stuff there. And while we're on the subject of quality, we've got lots of squishy plastics, and in this ultimate version, a nice bit of Alcantara here, and even some leather on the chairs. Navigating this infotainment system is made a bit easier by this row of buttons here. So you've got a home button here, driving functions and temperature controls. However, you do, unlike so many cars these days, have actual physical buttons there for your temperature controls and also the other air conditioning bits and pieces. We have ventilated seats and heated seats if the car is so equipped, and there is tons of storage. So if you've got your key, you can open this little cubby here, which is felt lined to stop stuff rattling about. We can slide that back, and your mobile phone gets a wireless charging pad if so equipped. You've then got a nice big storage bit here, which actually, if you've got a reusable coffee cup, that can even fit inside. Or if you actually want to drink your coffee, you can open this up here, put your coffee in there, and even if you've got a big water bottle, you can slot that in there. Or if you've drunk it all, it fits nicely in the big wide door pockets there. You've also got a nice big cubby in the middle there, which those will slot in, and even another cubby here for your change as well. So really very useful, and when you factor in a couple of USB ports there as well, somewhere to charge all your devices and fit all your stuff. Moving to the rear, as you can see, I have tons of space, but then I am 5'3½", and yes, the half matters when you're that tall. Thankfully, I was able to find a 6'3" adult who, as you can see, has a fair bit of space, even with the seat not all the way forwards. As you can see, there's also quite a short tunnel here, so although the centre seat is slightly raised, 3 in the back won't be too uncomfortable, and if there's only 2 of you, a nice fold down armrest with a couple of cup holders and somewhere for some pens. There's also a little net here, although you probably couldn't fit a particularly big Atlas in there, and although the rear pockets are quite a bit smaller, you can still fit one of these water bottles back there with not too much squeezing. In terms of quality, well, it's quite hard up here, but then that's fairly typical for the class. However, on this Ultimate model, you'll notice a bit more lovely Alcantara, and importantly, a padded bit for your elbow, so you're not too uncomfortable on a longer journey. It is, though, quite dark back here, so you've got a black headlining and quite small windows with, on this model, quite a heavy tint. And thick C-pillars back here as well.
Vauxhall hasn't released full details of the engines on offer, but we do know petrol and diesels with between 110 and 130 horsepower will be the conventional choices. These come as standard with a 6-speed manual gearbox with an 8-speed automatic optional on the punchier power plants. More interesting are the pair of plug-in hybrids. Initially you'll only be able to get a 180 horsepower version, with a more potent 225 horsepower version in the pipeline. Expect around 35 miles of electric only running to give competitive company car tax rates and the ability to save a small fortune in fuel if you plug in regularly. The final option that's been confirmed is the all-electric Astra E, but we are a couple of years away from that.
Now, in terms of boot space, this model is a plug-in hybrid, so it is a little bit smaller than it would be for a petrol-powered version, but as you can see, that is still a nice big load area. So we certainly like what we see today regarding the new Astra. It's much smarter looking on the outside, is packed full of technology, and if the drive is any good, could be a real contender in the family hatchback class. Now, we will have to wait till a little bit later in the year to find out what it's like on the road, and the car won't be in dealerships until January. But to make sure you don't miss out on the latest news, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon if you want to be notified of all the latest things. And do go to parkers.co.uk for more detail on this and many, many other new cars.